one of the changes that will come in the future in the healthcare industry, not only for the pharma companies but across. I think that is much more collaboration. I think that's the only way that we can really provide the holistic solutions to patients. I think, one of the areas maybe we've failed as an industry, I think that is actually in providing treatments that that works real life. I think there are a lot of efficient treatments. I think we saw that this morning within diabetes, certainly within skin diseases, but they are only effective if they are actually provided in a way that's convenient for patients. So I think that requires more than a great treatment. It requires, information. It requires inspiration to follow treatment. It requires maybe advice on your diet and all that. And I think that coming much more together going forward. And that for me requires partnerships and collaboration.
Now, here's where I do think we need to really change our approach on our model. Coming to Sandoz from a biotech company where often the therapies were, shall I say, on the more expensive side, because they're breakthrough therapies often, smaller populations, that as I've sort of stepped back and looked at it on a more global scale and looked at it on a more healthcare sustainability scale, the fact is we cannot keep asking healthcare systems to pay for something that they can't afford. So we have to change our model in how we run our businesses to make them more efficient and more cost effective, so we don't rely on the levels of profit that we've done in the past, the levels of pricing we've done in the past. But we also need to partner more with healthcare systems to understand if they have a budgetary issue. We cannot just keep telling them how wonderful our drugs are, because at the end of the day, if they don't have the money to pay for it, even if they want to, we're not going to move anything forward. And that is the crux of it. Now, the interesting thing is that's been debated for many years. It's getting a bigger debate now because of the pressures on most of the healthcare systems around the world. But we are still in the process of just explaining why our drugs are better and hoping the system will find money to pay for it. And I think we really have to come together to pick up on that issue and be strategic partners going forward to understand how we do that.
Many companies are doing lots of efforts now in what we call the field of integrated care. And I think that a more integrated model carries the promise of really changing those outcomes. That next time that diabetes care makes a publication on a large cohort of patients, that we will be able to demonstrate 5 years down the road or 8 years down the road significant change in real-world outcomes for that patient. I think it's absolutely necessary, and I think it will be a win for patients, a win for payers, and more than a win, an absolute necessity for us, healthcare industry, to be able to, remain relevant and remain and have a right at the seat at the table.
I think we will see more diversity, and I think we actually see more companies going in different directions, like Peter is showing with Sanofi, with a lot of collaboration. I think we see companies like that. I think we see a lot of companies that have been very successful of just being in one therapeutic area. If you look at Gilead or Novo Nordisk or Leo or something, when you have the whole organization all up to the top understanding a therapeutic area very, very, very good, it's an advantage as well. Then you have companies where you try to manage a lot. We in BMS went from being quite big in primary care to a total focus on specialty care. So I think that there will be a lot of specialization. I think that needs to be a good understanding of the therapeutic area, the patients, and all of that, to be able to look for the solutions and the collaborations with other people outside of the pharma as well, when you really understand the patients in the therapeutic area. So I think we will see more of that.